So in this video, we're going to cover how to create a formula that is based off one unchanging cell. So it stays the same cell no matter where you drag the formula, but that the other portion of the formula will change cells for the computation for the formula throughout the remaining cells. So you've probably seen this before, a formula that references a cell that maybe has, let's see, this dollar sign. And what that means, when you put in a dollar sign either before the letter or before the number, what it's going to do up here, it's telling Excel that no matter where I drag this formula, I want this to always be J. I always want it to reference column J. And if you put a dollar sign before the row, before the number, I always want the formula to reference row 15. So if I have a dollar sign in both, I'm telling Excel, I always want you to reference cell column J and row 15. If I take one of these out and then drag it down, you now see that since I took the dollar sign out from in front of the number, it changes the row that it references with each drag of the formula. So we're going to apply this to our problem here. So what I want to do, I want the total of each column, wood, glass, and hangers, the total cost. So it's going to be my price times my quantity ordered from each supplier. And I also want the total that I owe each supplier. So in this case, I want to know what was the total cost of wood, glass, hangers for supplier 1. So because they all cost the same for the wood, glass, and hangers, I really only need to reference that one time. So in my formula, I'm going to start with equals to tell Excel that I'm creating a formula. I'm going to select my price cell. And what I want to do, because I always want it to reference this cell when it's multiplying the price, is I'm going to have a dollar sign here. And I want a dollar sign in my row as well. Okay. So now I have my first part of my formula referenced, just that cell. I want to multiply that price times the quantity that I ordered from supplier 1. Now when I drag this down, it is always going to reference E12, or my price of $4.60. Simple as that. Now, I could do this for each individual column. Make another one here, make another one here. But instead, what I would rather do is, because I don't change the column when I'm dragging my formula down, when I'm remaining in the same column, I don't actually need this dollar sign here. And I'll show you. Let's click here. If I take my dollar sign out before the column, now all I'm telling Excel is, I want you to reference column E, but I always want you to reference row 12. So let's drag this down and see if it changes at all. No change. Why? Because the only thing that changed was the cell that I'm referencing in the second part of my formula, and because I'm staying within column E, I'm not actually changing. If I drag it over, it will change, but that's what we want to do, right? So what I want to do is I want to now be able to drag this formula over, because I want it to reference column F price, column G's price. Okay, so I'm still referencing the same row because I have the dollar sign in front of the number, but I'm changing the column. So I'm saying stay in row 12, but change the column as I drag the formula over. So what I can do is highlight all of my formulas that I've created here, drag it over, and it's going to automatically calculate my formula. So essentially what we did, and let's erase this and I'll show you again, is we created one formula, which was our price, and I want the row to stay the same, and I want to multiply that by my quantity. So before we drag down the column, it'll work the same way if we did the row first, and then drag the row all the way down. So it doesn't matter what order you do it in, and I only had to enter in the formula one time. Saves you a lot of time when you have a large number of cells that you're working with and want to enter the formula a lot. Now all I'm going to do is sum up So equals sum. Press enter. And I'm going to drag all the way down. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Sum. And drag on over. I'm going to expand my column so I can see the total. And we're all set. Now, because I like to show you shortcuts, I'm going to show you a quick shortcut for this as well. When you're creating a formula and you want to enter the dollar signs, if you press F4 after you've entered in the reference cell, so when I say reference cell, it's going to be the cell that you don't want to change. If you click on the cell, so it says E12, now tap F4. That's going to automatically put your dollar signs in, but it puts it in for both the column and the row. Hit it again, and now it only references the row. Hit it again, and it'll only reference the column. One more time, and it takes them all off. And you can cycle through those. So all I have to do is click the cell, hit F4 twice, it's going to reference my row, and we're back to, of course you want to put in the rest of your formula. Times your quantity. And we're back to just dragging over. And it is as simple as that. All right, thank you for watching.